glad that you came to visit me in La Terraza, and you're honoring me by sitting and talking to me. But you're not only talking to me, you're going to be talking to a lot of other people.
Okay.
And letting them know what your journey was prior to coming here. I'd like to know a little bit about you, more about you. I mean, you know, you don't have to get really intimate with your life, but kind of give me some background.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling you earlier, I moved down to Atlanta, Georgia, basically because of the warm weather down there. Like about 35 years ago, I was up in Buffalo, New York, and it was too cold for me there. So I found a lot of job opportunities available down in Atlanta, so that's why I moved down there. And that's how I got into the Atlanta convention business, just by accident. I just happened to see an ad in the newspaper one day. I said, oh, that looks like a lot of fun. You get paid by the week, you know, in between jobs. So I tried it, and I liked it. I mean, I just had that bug because you walk down there on the show floor, and it's completely empty, just all concrete. Now, by the day of the show, you got carpet down all over the floor, and like these buildings are the size of football fields. It's all carpeted from one end of the hall to the other, with displays all built and everything for the different companies like 3M, or it might be somebody like Toyota car. And that's how I got into the business, like the transition. And then we tear it down and go to another show, and everything's different. It's got a different flavor to it, so it's almost like I will never get bored doing this kind of work.
And when you talk about it, you talk with excitement.
Yeah,
so you're a man that has tested being adventurous. You didn't just start being adventurous when you came over.
Oh no, it's my nature.
Yeah.
It's the Capricorn in me. I gotta admit, that's the Capricorn in me. Yeah, I love adventure.
Good.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things that, have you done any overseas travel? Is this Costa Rica your first
Oh
go?
no, the year after I got out of college, I moved to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really call that overseas, but...
No, I'm just saying out of the country as far as that goes. And, you know, with it being a Hispanic culture, it's a lot different than back in the States. And I moved to St. Croix about 10 years after that. So this is the third time I've actually lived outside of the country, moving to Costa Rica.
Wow. So did you enjoy it when you moved out, and that's why maybe you looked at spending your retirement out?
But see, that goes back to my mom. When she retired, she took a tour with a friend of hers from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where they first met. She was living in Buffalo at the time. She went to Greece, she went to Italy, she had all these pictures. So she kind of opened up my mind to even living somewhere like that, as opposed to just taking a trip.
Okay,
you know?
that speaks to the moms a lot, because a lot of
that
moms,
exposure.
that exposure you do your children has a lifelong effect.
Oh yes.
And it makes them not be afraid.
Yes.
And they shouldn't be afraid. You know, one of the things I want to find out from you, this is what I want to find out from you, as a single person coming down here, and how did you find it? Was it difficult to get around, or did you find yourself, or did you make connections pretty good?
Very easy. As a matter of fact, and this is why I know I was destined to be here when I was here, because back in 2005 I decided to move to Costa Rica. In the time I decided 2005 to 2015 when I moved down here, that's where I was going to go. And basically it was this friend of mine, John Smith, was telling me, John Smith was telling me on the show floor one day, he said, you ever hear about Costa Rica? So he started giving me a little bit of education about Costa Rica. He says, you know, they don't even have a standing army anymore? I said, no, I didn't know that. Now all of a sudden the wheels are starting to turn. It's like, now I can really dig a country like this. And it just so happened they disbanded the army in 1948, the same year I was born. Now I'm thinking about a hookup here. This was for a reason. I talked to John Smith about Costa Rica on that day, you know, in 2005. And I meant to bring my Fromm's travel book. I still have it to this day. And that's how I got insight into different areas of Costa Rica and all this kind of stuff, get a flavor of it. So come 2015, I just headed on down here. But the amazing thing about it, I was looking up in the Tico Times apartments that were available. Because another friend of mine, Mike Franklin, thought he might move down here. So all these guys back in Atlanta give me information. I didn't even know anything about Costa Rica. So I get this apartment. Now all of a sudden, I've got a neighbor upstairs from North Carolina, she speaks English. I've got an Indian couple upstairs, just across the room that speaks English. So right away, it's almost like there's no kind of barrier as far as the language barrier, because I didn't know that much Spanish. And it was almost like it was meant to be, as far as even living in this apartment complex. It's enough to, you know, communicate.
Goodbye.
So yeah, it was never a really bad transition for me as far as not being able to speak the language. I might have known maybe 5 words when I first moved down here. But at least in Gracia, you don't really have to have that much of a, you know, knowledge of Spanish.
You need to have it.
Oh, I'm saying now, that was when I first moved down here.
It, yes.
Now, I speak a lot more Spanish than I did then. I'm just saying when I first came here. So the transition, like you were saying now, how difficult was it? It wasn't on that point. because it just seemed as though I was always around people where, you know, we could communicate.
Yeah,
So
and you find the Costa Rican people
very friendly.
very friendly.
Very friendly. As a matter of fact, I have a bus driver. I take his bus every now and then, head back to my apartment.
Oh, yeah.
And if he sees me walking down the street, he'll honk the horn
That
and wave
is-
at me.
that's amazing,
That
isn't
has
it?
never happened to me in the United States
That's
before.
amazing, that's
and he makes a
amazing.
point of doing that.
Yeah.
And even when I get off the bus with him, he waves to me, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like the people, and I can see why it's a country where you have some of the happiest people in the world.
Yeah.
That's just the way they are.
Yeah.
And it's natural. They're not out
not
to
something
get something
put on.
from you or anything else. Now in the States you might take it a little bit differently. It's the friendly people back in the States you got to be wary
Yeah.
of. Because those are the ones that are tricksters, you know, they want to take you into confidence.
And some
but here it's
American-
genuine.
And some Americans say this.
Yeah.
The only reason why they're good to you because they want something from you. But
No.
my husband, I found out that wasn't
think
true.
so. You know what I think it is? They have a distorted view of the people in this country
Uh-huh.
because they don't understand them.
Yeah.
But I understood them right away because like these people are like me, you know? You
Yeah.
walk down the street, they say good morning to you.
Yeah.
And it
yeah.
reminds me of that one, they had a show, I don't know if you remember this, but it was one of those sci-fi shows, and it was with Rod Serling, where he went through a different kind of trip as far as his show every day. And I used to watch that as a kid. And this one guy was in the business world, and all of a sudden it was like, he didn't like that rat race. So all of a sudden he gets on this doggone train, he wakes up. He's back in the 1920s in this old town, and everybody's friendly. It's nothing like where he was living. And that is called Pleasantville. That's the way this place seems to be to
Seem
me.
like Pleasantville.
Much for him to-
But I want to disturb you.
Yeah,
You got skills, talents, and ability.
yeah.
And you haven't left the planet yet. Explore.
Explore as far
And
as,
impart some of that talent and ability and use some of it.
and what
And
avenue?
I don't know.
I don't know either, because when it comes to retirement, once I was done, I was done.
But that was retirement
Yeah.
for working.
Yeah, from working, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, talent-wise, I'm trying to think of what talents you might be thinking of that I might have where I could explore.
Oh, you got a
You think
lot
so?
of them. Oh,
Really?
Yes. Just with your anxiety, your ambition,
Yeah.
your excitement,
Uh-huh.
and that and here in Costa Rica,
Yeah.
we have a lot of young people that they're not excited because they haven't seen it. But the way you're talking, you can almost draw a picture for them.
Is that
So
right?
I want you to stay on hold
Okay.
because
Okay.
we might find something for you to do.
Okay, sure.
Taraza,
It's
and
my
it's
pleasure.
just so great. It is great to have you here.
Thank
And
you.
I want to welcome you to our community because this
I
is
love
what's
it.
exciting about here.
Yeah.
Because we meet friends,
Mhm.
and it's not based on how tall you are, how skinny you are, or whatever.
Right.
But all of us are here seeking for one purpose:
Yeah.
to have a good life.
That's what it's
That's
all
the
about.
function. That's what it's
all
about. That's what we want.
And this is the right place for you to have it as opposed to where we came from, that's for sure, because now you got the time, you got the desire, you got the ambition to pursue those kind of goals. I think here in Costa Rica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you again.
Oh, my pleasure, Jeanetta. My
Great to have
pleasure,
you.
darling.
Shout out to Ross.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for